Hello, Imago Day family, and welcome to a very, very special show, a very special production that people have been working so hard for. And it's about sacred bonds, conversations for couples. Now, I feel like this is going to be very important for all of you Catholics, young Catholics, older Catholics who are in a relationship, they are married or dating. And I think it's important for us to see other Catholic relationships and how they have come through in their faith, but also with their partners. So my name is Katia. I'm your host for today, and I would like to start introducing our beautiful couples. They are in different stages. So we have a married couple, we have a couple that is engaged, and also a couple that has been dating. It's fairly new, 5 months, but I feel like everything that they will have to share is going to be very significant for all of you listeners. You know, whatever it is that you're discerning to do with your life, whether it's religious life, we're going to ask very important questions for you guys to really take in and to let the Holy Spirit guide you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin with our first couple.
Hello, my name is Hernan Viera. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Jeanette, and we have been married for a year and a couple months now.
Hello, I'm Jeanette, and this is my husband, Hernan.
Daniela Rosas, and I'm engaged too.
My name is Jesse Vieira, and this is my beautiful fiance.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Vieira, and I've been dating this amazing man for 5 months, and this is...
My name is Chris Howard, and yes, we've been dating for 5 months.
dating.
And I would like to point out that they all know each other. They're all part of a ministry that they were sharing with me, and I would love for them to share because I was telling them it's very important for young adults to have a group to really grow in faith and have others who are sharing the same experiences. The disciples of God, the apostles, they all had each other, right, to rely on, and it's important for all of us to kind of have a group to congregate to, and just help each other in our wherever we're walking in our faith. But let's go ahead and get to meet them. Let's see how our first couple, our married couple, tell us how you guys met and what drew you guys to each other.
Well, it's a funny story actually. I used to work for a Catholic TV studio, and one day my wife came to visit the network, and right there was a TV show, and she went to the show, and I saw her, and that's how I met her originally. So, yeah.
Tell me, who approached who first?
She was just staring at me for a long time. So I was like,
I
okay,
say hi to
why is
them
this girl staring at me? I was kidding. No, she
I waved, and he didn't wave back.
Yeah, I was focused on the camera, but she said hi. Yeah.
So so she see ladies, she was the brave one who made the first move. Technically, I can say
I
that,
gotta
right?
give her credit. Yeah, she was.
All right, and then how is it when you guys started dating? Who approached who first for the first date?
So the story goes that we met at the TV studio.
Yeah.
And we said hi, and then months later we kind of rekindled each other, and we saw each other again because we found each other on Catholic Match. And so when we were telling our stories, and she found out that I worked at a TV studio, I told her I worked at El Sembrador. She was like, "What? I've been there before." And I was like, "Really? No, you haven't." And then we just rekindled that little story, and we connected everything. Like, what? So we knew each other. And then we also had, talking about ministries, she had friends that we've met that were part of the same ministry. So it was a small world.
We had mutual friends.
We had mutual friends, yeah. So that's how we got to, know each other really well.
Do you feel like God had that plan already, right? Like no matter what, you eventually would run into each other. If it wasn't, at El Sembrador, mutual friends, and I feel like God definitely had a plan.
I definitely think it was God because in my journey too, like dating and trying to find the right person, even in the dating app, it's Catholic, right? And it was just a coincidence. On Christmas Day, I was bored, right? But I was like, let me check it out. And she's the first person that popped out. So even then, I would say God put her in my way because I could have decided not to look at the app, right? And from there, I got to meet her. And because she's in the world of God too and active in ministry, she was on there. And then our worlds collided, and it was like the perfect match. And it was due to God.
And I want to kind of like jump the gun a little bit. How long did you guys date before you got engaged and until you got married?
It was like a year.
A year?
Yeah. So I met her at the 6 months, sister. I was ready to marry her. I was telling her, all right.
When you know, you know.
I was telling my friends, my brother. I was like, I'm ready at the 6 month. But I told myself, I always try to set the example. Like, I told myself one day if I have a daughter or a son, like, what would be a good time frame, right? And I told myself a year was good. And at the year, I surprised her, and I don't know. How did you feel, baby? Or did you expect it?
I was not expecting it, to be honest with you. I thought he was gonna ask me on like somewhere like, just in the mountains, ask me to be his, his wife. But he asked me in front of all family and friends.
So in the ministry.
In the SOAR ministry.
Yeah.
At a SOAR ministry party, Christmas party.
Yeah, Christmas
Party, yes.
Oh my gosh, I love your story. We will come back to that. But before I forget, how old were you guys when you started dating?
I was, I believe I was 30. 30? Yeah, 30.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're not 30.
I was 30.
Listen, ladies are better with dates, right? So.
All right, tell me, what, guys have bad memory, so 31, 30, something like that, yeah.
I believe I was 29.
Yeah, no, it was 30.
Okay,
Yeah.
he was 30.
And let me tell you
Got
why I
it.
ask you this. And it's okay if the rest of the couples don't want to share, but for me, it's important. As an old,
Yeah.
I'm in my late 20s, almost 30. So it's important for me and for others who are listening, to know, like, is there still hope? Because sometimes, you kind of lose hope the older you get. That's to finding a Catholic man, somebody with the same faith. So thank you for sharing that and being open to sharing, personal details such as your age. But I'm sure that it's going to help anybody who's listening.
Yeah, I just want to add real quick that, yeah, before I found her, honestly, I went through like I don't want to say a dark time, but a tough time. Yeah, like you were saying, I was 30. It kind of hits you, and it's normal if you're going through that. And it was during COVID. So it was like gloomy. It was you couldn't even go out. So you couldn't even date, right? So that's why I get into the app, right? And my message, at least us, we want to testify that even in the darkness of times, like, God is there. Like, you just got to stay like loyal to him and don't go astray. Like, we're not perfect, but stay focused on the mission and God will bless you. And I want to testify that that's what happened to us. Literally, like, he made this happen.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's go now to our engaged couple. Can you guys tell us how you guys met?
I'm gonna let you take this one, babe.
All right. I actually met him at our ministry, at the Sower ministry, back in 2019. That's where I met him. As soon as I walked into the doors. I remember seeing him because he plays the guitar, so that was like my first thing seeing him.
Praise and worship.
Yep, praise and worship. It was during praise and worship segment.
And who approached who?
And
Who was the
so
first one that made the move?
She walked through those doors and she just didn't move. She was just stuck staring at me, and I was like, "Open the eyes of my heart." She was opening those eyes, and no, you know what? Honestly, it was a special moment when I first met her. But when I met her, I was also at a certain time in my life where I was very protective. I feel I had been single for about 5 years, and I do have a son, so I do come with a package. And so that being said, it was actually beautiful because before even getting together as boyfriend and girlfriend, we got to know each other for 3 years within ministry, doing ministry, working within ministry together. In 2019 to about 2022, when I finally, asked the question, or I finally asked her to be my girlfriend. But before I jumped that, it was, where I really got to know her on a personal level. And this is a part of my testimony. Besides her walking in that door, was at a retreat. And it was at a SOAR LA retreat, and basically it was out there in Joshua Tree, and it was so beautiful. There's about 20 people there, and we were camping. And to be honest, with all the topics and all the activities, I really got to know her on a personal level as a friend to friend, seeing, how she would, study the Bible and how we would all reflect together within a group. I got to see the precious, the beautiful, the way she thinks and her faith, really, to be honest. And that's what really attracted me to her, to see such a big faith, to be able to see someone that's able to be, I'm trying to be a Saint Joseph, and I feel like when I'm during that retreat, I realized that she could be my Mary. And so it was that type of experience for me when I really got to know her. And I, inside my heart, I kind of let go and said, okay, she's definitely a potential. But nonetheless, we got to know each other for 3 years before I asked her to be my girlfriend. And And about 2 years later from that, being together, boyfriend and girlfriend, and getting to know her on a more personal level, I asked her to be my, fiance. And so we're definitely in the fiance stage. It's been how long, babe? It's been
6 months.
it's been 6 months, and we're still going for another 7 months before we officially get married in May 2025. And so we ask you to pray for us.
That is so exciting. And I love the difference that we have. It wasn't planned, you guys. The difference that we have like after a year, 3 years, because there really isn't a time, like even I feel like when God puts it in your mind, that's the right time. It's never us trying to jump the gun. It's never us like, okay, because I don't know if you guys have heard, but a lot of people are like, okay, I want to wait till I'm 30. And then when I'm 30, I'm going to,
Right.
yeah, you have all these ideas and then God laughs at you, right? Like that's what they
Exactly.
say. Like, no, he has his own plan. So thank you for sharing that as well. Now
you.
let's go ahead to our dating couple. Would you like to please introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Maria Vieira.
Chris.
And I guess the question is how we first met and all that. Well, I would just like to start off with what I do is I'm online, social media. So the way that we met was through a DM, direct message. Pretty Gen Z, right? I remember I was scrolling through some messages and his message caught my eye. Very gentlemanlike, very respectful. He kindly asked, if you're single, and if you would love to go on it for a dinner, he would love to take me out. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I just, text him my number and I said, hey, look, if you're real, we'll FaceTime and chat. And from there, I'll see what I feel. And he respected that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say any guy out there, really just shoot your shot. It doesn't really matter. Just go for it. I kept seeing her social media page, and I just figured, why not, So it worked out. And yeah, I say it was going pretty well so far. 5 months in, learning a lot about who we are and how we're different people, but we are striving for the same thing, and that's marriage, and that's the goal, and getting closer to God in that marriage. So.
Oh, I love that.
Chris, before you let that mic go,
Okay.
I know, because what drew you to message her? This is me being chismosa.
Let me see. Well, I know she posts a lot of food reviews, and I love food. So I was like, it's like if I ask her out, she'll know a good spot. So it kind of worked out like that, I would say. So yeah.
Now, behind camera, early before we started, you mentioned that you were new to the ministry. Would you
Yes.
like to share a little bit? As I said, they're all part of the Soul Word ministry, and that's kind of where you guys know each other. But he's the newest from Here Are Couples. So,
Yeah.
Chris, would you like to share a little bit about that?
Sure. Currently, I am taking RICA classes because I am not Catholic yet, but I'm studying the faith. I have appreciation for it. I've been going to Mass with her, and then on my own, getting closer to God, finding my way towards God in a way. And right now I'm trying to figure out, it's just so scary because there's so much to it, so different from non-denominational, which I grew up in, and then the Catholic faith. There's all these saints, there's someone I have to choose as my patron saint, all these questions that I'm being asked now. So going to Sorrel Lay, seeing how beautifully it's done, how ministry is just, it's a personal relationship, and you're getting to meet so many people who just want to strive to be closer to God. I feel like that's a beautiful thing.
So is it okay to assume that you jumped into the ministry after meeting her?
Yes.
Was she? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
How was that invitation like?
I think it was just one night. Hey, do you want to come to my ministry?
Love it. Practical.
I would love. I would. Yeah, the tacos after were pretty iconic. But I would love to add that actually, when we were it wasn't that we were officially dating yet, but he chose to go old school and ask my father May 17th. Girls are good with dates. He chose to talk to my father first out of respect, and that day happened to land on a visual that Sorelei was having that night. But before then, he asked my father if he can be my boyfriend, and my father said yes. And then I just told him, why don't we just thank God for our opportunity to just give love another try. So when we went to the vigil, he found the perfect moment after it was an altar call, and then he asked me officially to be his girlfriend. And that was such a beautiful moment because in my past, I've never dated anyone that even had a relationship with God, so I'd never experienced something so peaceful and reassuring. So he's definitely led me in a good direction. I know, like he said, we both are different in culture and maybe in even spirituality, but I think together we have that in common, that we're trying to find God in the little things and connect in that level. So that's what I love most about him.
Woo, that was so beautiful. And to all the ladies and gentlemen listening, don't give up. Clearly, there are men of God out there, women of God out there. And would you say that prayer, were you praying? Oh, I guess it's going to lead me to my next question, discernment.
Go for it.
Were you discerning already? Or were you praying for a partner? How did it
Yes. So when my last relationship was last year, and I took a good 7 months till I decided to open my heart to love again. But I think, the discernment was in my heart to at least have a man in my life that believes, respects, and is trying to seek God. I'm not saying the perfect man, no, we all have flaws. Even me, I realize like I want to work on myself and be better, so but meeting him, like I feel like we both realize like we're in that same, no, definitely. And then, like I said, culture, spirituality, we're giving it a chance, and we're trying to understand each other on deeper levels. And I think it's a discernment process for both of us. And yes, I did invite him to mass one day before we started officially dating, actually, and it was at USC, the church at USC. It's very youthful congregation. They're pretty funny, and all that stuff. So I remember we actually got sat in the front of the church. So it was like weird how like that happened, and he really got to see for the first time like everything happening really close up. And I feel like that probably had a good influence in like terms of like what is it that happens in Catholic Mass, and questions started growing from there. But again, I gave him that space to understand what it is that's a part of me. I actually reconverted too. That's a whole other story, but yeah, I think there's a lot more to it, but that's how we started.
Wow, so you guys are walking together. That's
We're
awesome. And well, let's all go to our engaged couple. Let's see. How was your individual discernment regarding marriage? Was it in your mind? Was religious life in your mind?
Yeah, so growing up, I always wanted, like, I do see myself getting married, right? Like now that I'm in the engagement season, and like I talk to our Lord, he's reminded me of my prayers that I used to always ask, which was, a godly man, someone I can pray with together, go to mass, teach our kids about the faith, etc. But I always ended up with the opposite. Like opposite guys dating in high school and college, etc. So similar to our sister Maria right here, I was in a very like toxic and long relationship where it lasted almost like 4 years. So getting ending that relationship afterward, which led me to LA, right, getting back to my faith. That is where I also kind of question, okay, Lord, like, what is it that you want? Maybe I'm not meant for marriage. So I did discern with our sister Elizabeth. She used to come a lot to our ministry. She's a religious sister. So I went to a couple of retreats with her. She was guiding me through my discernment. And we were friends. Like, me and him were friends. So he also knew about it. Like, I was discerning. I'm like, maybe I'm just doing it wrong, because my calling is not marriage. My calling is like religious life, and that's why I'm ending up with all these guys that are treating me bad, etc. So I did discern that for a couple, I want to say maybe a year, during my also healing process that I was doing. It did cross my mind, but after a couple of retreats and speaking to Sister Elizabeth, I realized, like, no, I was just repeating the same cycle over and over, which was not allowing myself to heal traumas, that I was carrying on. And that's why I was attracting the same guys over and over again.
Oh my, that was a lot. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that, and we just have to be very, very open-minded. Sometimes we want to do one thing, but God has other plans. And it was beautiful that you had also people to support you while you were discerning. So thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm. And my experience has always been, since I was a kid, I've always known that I wanted to have a family. I'm, Latino, and born and raised in a household where, there's a lot of family love. We have a lot of aunts and uncles. You know, we have a grandma with like 10 kids, right? And so we come from a family with a lot of siblings and family members. And so I've always known growing up that I wanted to be a father from the get-go. My patron saint is Saint Joseph, whom I've been consecrated to. And, you know, I just always knew in my heart that I was going to be a family man one day. You know, I'd look up to my father, who's been loyal to my mother. I look up, you know, and I also see the other examples around me, and I've always known. So, you know, and also just hearing, I was at such a peaceful place with myself, you know, being single when I got to know her, that I did want her to discern, and I did support her as a friend to discern. And I think it's definitely something healthy that everybody should go through, unless you know certain that you're meant for family, or, you know, you're questioning maybe you're meant for priesthood or for nunhood. I think the discernment is the best thing you can do to really decide and make that decision, because ultimately, as, you know, an adult, we need to make that decision and take a hold of it and move on with it. And so I'm happy to hear, you know, when she had told me that she wanted a family, because that was always my intent, you know, as a friend or as a future, boyfriend and girlfriend. It was good news to hear, obviously, but I was also ready to accept her if she was going to take the nun route, because that's what friends are for, and we were best friends, babe.
And would you say that it's important to have somebody help you in your discernment?
Yeah, so I think it is very important to have someone, and I think the beautiful of our Catholic faith, right, is that we can have spiritual guides and really use them. Unfortunately, oftentimes we don't, right? We don't seek them, either because we're embarrassed, we don't know where to go. But just asking your local priest one day, like, hey, you know, like, I'm discerning whether I want to be a religious or priest, or, you know, I'm confused, etc. Like, you know, and they will guide you. Like, they will guide you where to go. You know, because every priest or every religious sisters, they have their own vocation. So that not necessarily are they meant to guide us spiritually for our vocations, but there are vocation directors out there. They're willing to help us. But I think it's very important to seek them. You know, to see, because like you said, we could get very confused and sometimes think that our Lord is speaking to us through messages, and it's not even like that, because we sometimes don't want to be obedient to our Lord.
And we're biased with each other, right? Like,
yes.
no, I think this is what he wants, but it's
Exactly.
actually us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's important.
And now let's go to our married couple and talk to us about discernment. How was that for you?
The discernment, that was number one. I knew from the start that was key. I also had, dated previous people, and with that experience, I just got into the church, especially like I said, like in COVID. I had like, a downfall kind of thing, and like you were asking earlier, actually in my life, I was seeking priesthood when I was young. So even till high school, I felt the calling, and I gave that a chance. And later, I think my mom, she was one of my great mentors, and she was telling me, well, maybe if you're, because I kind of also struggled to like go all the way with the priesthood. So maybe your calling is to have a family. So I would look at that too. Okay. So I was open to both. And the discernment was just staying in the route of God, being active in ministry. I would tell people that, and, I'll tell people to, no matter what, never doubt God, stick on the route. It's going to get heavy, because when you try to look for something that's good, that's from God, it's not easy, especially when it comes to finding your life partner. And I think all of us could testify that, as you're hearing, it's a journey. So have patience. No matter what, stick with God. Because I think my breaking point was during COVID, where I was about to give up. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to act a fool, because this route with God doesn't work. It was like, it was getting there. Like, it doesn't work. And it did, because God always wins at the end. And I'm glad I stuck through. I'm glad I had a great mentor, which was my mother. That's a very faithful woman. And yeah, that was my discernment. Continue and stay active in church.
And patience. Right?
And a lot of patience.
Yeah.
So my discernment. So I was so before I met him, I was in a really toxic relationship. And so slowly I started not to believe in marriage. So I didn't believe in marriage. I didn't want to get married. But when that was over, and when I met him, I realized, you know what? I want to start a family. And I told him when I first met him, And I asked him, like, do you want a family? Do you want to get married? Because if you don't, like, you're just wasting my time.
Good. I'm just kidding.
Yes,
as
I
we
was
should.
straight up. I'm like, are you married? To the point. I was very on to the point with him. Do you want to get married? If not, like, I'm sorry, but you're not the right person for me. And so, yes, he did.
Oh, and by the way, when we were dating, it was so funny. I just want to share a little story. I don't know what happened, but I think she misunderstood. And I told her what I told you right now, that I wanted to be a priest at a point, and she thought I was trying to be a priest, and she was stopping me, so she started crying. She's like, wait, am I stopping your man from being a priest? And I was like, no, you are. And I was like, no. So, but yeah, I told her that I loved her for who she was, her love for God matched mine, and it was just a love story, and it was beautiful.
You know, what I'm seeing is you knew exactly what you wanted, and that's, sometimes people don't take it very nicely, but as a son or daughter of God, that's how we should be. We shouldn't lower our expectations, especially because a Catholic relationship is not easy. I mean, no relationships are easy, but when you have your faith, I feel like that also makes it harder. So you have to know who you are and what you're worth, and that was something that you definitely. And I love how you were so open to also, letting him go if that's what the route he was going, which is very, very brave. So, yeah, it's strong. All right, this one is gonna be an open for anybody who would like to jump in. You guys are all in the same ministry, but how has ministry been with your partner since you guys are serving together? Has it been challenging? Have you felt supported? Or how did you guys feel about being able to share the same ministry together?
I'll add on. I want to speak to I guess the cradle Catholic out there that I could relate to. I just want to say that when your parents share with you to do certain things in the church, and sometimes we're stubborn, right? We're like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Oh, they're old school. That's always like the phrase, right? They're old school. They don't know what real love is. I want to say, do listen to them, because they do have wisdom that no matter what generation it is, it's gonna be true, because God's truth is absolute. It doesn't change. And I remember when I started dating her in our ministry and doing things like praying the rosary, praying the divine mercy, things that I would never do before. But when I did it with her, it was amazing. It was beautiful. Like, I got to meet God on a different level that I've never ever witnessed. And just being with her, both of us in sync, like, it was just something that I wish for everybody to experience if they have the opportunity, because God is beautiful. And when you listen to him, when you obey those that have wisdom, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, but like, I was always that type of person that wanted to do what's right, and in this case, I did. And I just want to tell everybody that's listening that it's worth it and you have to lead too. Sometimes, in this case, I was leading for her, and both of us together, we humbled ourselves, and we submitted to God, and it was beautiful. And being in ministry was the cream on top of the cake. So it was beautiful. Yeah.
That's so sweet. So yeah, I kind of agree with brother what he was saying, right? It's different when you're like serving as a couple. Definitely, you definitely do experience different battles, but at the same time you find and get to know the person in a different level, and see the talents that God gives each person individually, but I guess in a more personal, like with Jesse and I, there was a point in our relationship where it did get tough, because we were actually on a break. Like, we broke up for like 6 months, and I was the leader of the ministry at that time, so it was hard to let my feelings apart, and then still trying to communicate, because he was the leader of the music ministry, so coordinating with him as well, and trying to set that apart. So that was very difficult, but definitely through the grace of our Lord, and being taught that forgiveness, and being there to serve our Lord, because at the end of the day, that's what we should be serving, not each other, but serving our Lord. And being there, we're both in the same page, where it's like, okay, yeah, we found each other in the ministry, and this is where we met, but we're not there to find one another, but to serve Lord. So then at the end, it kind of all came together. But that was like the toughest part of serving together, right? When you serve as a couple, and then if it doesn't go the way we want it, how do we distinguish that? do I continue or not, you know?
I'm glad. I'm glad you brought that up because originally I had been thinking like, oh, it must be perfect, right? You know, it must be great because you're always serving together. You're sharing the same interests. But I hadn't thought about that too. It's like, what happened if there's a fight? Because there will be fights. There will be arguments. What's gonna happen? How can you separate? It's like my dad always says, like when I come home from work, you know, like I don't bring the problems home, or vice versa. And it's like if you're both in the ministry, it's tough to keep those problems that you're having separate. Or what happens if, you know, other couples who are dating, like if they break up and they're still part of the same ministry, like are they going to separate? You know, that.
Correct.
Ooh, that's that's
You know,
another.
and it's a wonderful challenge, to be honest, because that's when you see people's true color. Like if you break up with someone and they leave the ministry and they don't come back, they're there for the wrong reasons, right? And so even through the breakup, we both continue to serve because we weren't there for each other. We were there for God. And so, you know, if things are perfect right now and you're in a relationship, something's wrong, right? Because we're all broken, and we just have to pick whose brokenness we want to be with, and together make one piece, right? And so yeah, what was the original question? I'm drawing a blank. What was the original question?
It was just like how has it been that you guys are sharing the same ministry? Yeah.
Man, honestly, it's been beautiful, to be honest. You know, being someone of service, you know, they say put your faith in action, and I've seen her put her works in action, right? And so serving next to her has been awesome. In the beginning, right, when we first got together and we were boyfriend girlfriend, it was funny because we tried, you know, we didn't try holding hands too much. We gave each other's distance because we were in ministry mode. We were still in ministry mode, but you know, once we I want to say a year or 2 years later, and as we started letting our guard down, it was something very special to be able to sit in the front, to hold her hand, to pray together, to sing together, you know. And now when I go out to a retreat, you know, she comes with me, or she'll understand, you know, that I have to step out. And so just being, like Hernat said, in sync and understanding what it means to serve and to sacrifice, right? And so she knows how to sacrifice, and I do. We've witnessed each other sacrificing for the ministry, so it's very special when you come together and you find that the person and you serve together. So it's been an honor. Yeah.
So what I'm getting is, you know, for everybody listening, seek God first, and I'm sure you all agree, seek God first, and He puts everything in place, right? Like you guys said, whenever arguments happen, you guys didn't stop going to the ministry because who were you serving first? It was God. Right? And then look at you guys engaged now. So that is, you know, something that my dad always tells me. He's always saying, like, seek a man who seeks God first, and he will love you right. And you guys are a great example of that. All right, so let's go on to our next question. What is, and I'm sure, you know, you guys all can relate to it, so whoever has an answer for this, go ahead and jump in. Can you guys describe a time when you had to support each other through a difficult period, and how has your faith helped in that situation?
I want to answer that one. Yeah, like being in a marriage right now, like we're married, right? You just can't escape, right? When there's an issue, you just can't be like, oh, I'm out. I mean, you guys could still escape. You guys could still escape. But no, like in all seriousness, like this is where faith is important, because once you're in a marriage, it's not about, oh, I got bored of her. It's been a year. Oh, I'm tired of her. I don't want to be with her. Yes, the arguments do come. The disagreements do come, but that's normal. You know, you also have to be very mature spiritually, not just mature in general, but spiritually. And yeah, God kicks in, and what you learn from our faith, our Catholic faith, is till death do us apart. And then God also telling us, don't just live the marriage. Read the Bible, be active. You're gonna have kids soon. What are you doing to exemplify my word? You know, so we just can't be Christians or Catholics and not act upon that label, you know. And it's very important, because if we truly don't listen to the word of God or be active with it, we're soon, you know, this is going to become a divorce. And we see that nowadays in this generation that we're living in. And unfortunately, it's because more and more society is trying to get rid of God, right? We see it in school, we see it in everything. And so it's up for us, the Christians that really want to practice and discover our faith. When you do that, it's so rewarding. And right now we're happy and everything, but we're going to have our tough times. But God is the glue. That's in other words, if you don't understand what I'm saying, God is the glue of keeping everything together in your life. and for sure he's like the main glue for a marriage. And so I tell people to seek that because it's very important.
What do you guys do when you're faced with a difficult situation? What is something that you guys have learned that has helped in your marriage? Do you guys set aside and pray together, or do you pray separately? Do you guys pray the rosary? Is there something that has worked for you guys so far?
Yeah, I think we do pray. We don't pray a lot, I'm being honest. But I think us reflecting, communicating, and then when we come together, when there is an issue, and I'm being real about this, we talk about, where is this headed? And then we do talk about God, and we're like, because that's the thing. As humans, if we don't have God in the center, it's all about her feelings. It's all about my feelings. It's all about selfishness. Well, you got to do this to make me happy. But that's the thing. When you have God, it's not about me and that. At the end, we're like, all right, if this problem is really going to destroy us, what does God have to say? See, we're leaning on him. But if we don't have that, then easily I'm just like, well, you can't satisfy me in anything, so I don't want to be with you. And so what we do is when we communicate, we see what God has to say. Whether our egos are going crazy, because it's normal, we both humble ourselves at the end and we reflect on what does God say. And we go to the basics. And yes, I do encourage prayer, but the way we solve it is we communicate and see what does God say, and we both humble ourselves. And that's what keeps us going in times of trouble.
So humility, and definitely, as we've been saying, having God in the center of the relationship, having
What the
God
word of
as
God
the
has
glue.
to say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And anybody else like to jump in?
Can you repeat the question real quick?
Yeah. So the question is, can you guys describe a time when you had to support each other through a difficult time, and how has your faith helped you through that difficult time?
I mean, speaking for Chris and I mean, we're fairly new into the dating. So there hasn't been anything major yet. I know, seasons will come, but I do feel like, when we do go through our own personal hardships, we are kind of long distance because he's in Moreno and I'm in LA. So, we it's a bit of a distance, but I think when we feel like we're going through something, we're there for each other. Again, I don't think there hasn't been anything major. I don't know.
Major for me, yeah. She's helped me out emotionally, spiritually a lot. I think a few months ago, actually, my grandmother passed away, and that was the first family member I've ever really lost. So for her to actually come support me, she actually showed up to the funeral, got to meet some of my family, not all of them, was just there, present, and prayed with me. I think that was something that really helped me understand, like, this is the woman, like, I potentially want to marry. So it was something really beautiful. I've never really seen someone really give me the time of day for. So I appreciate that, really. So, yeah.
There you go.
See, so you probably, it didn't come to your mind at
It didn't
first,
come to mind.
but see the impact that you made
Yeah.
in his life, and
hearing that.
sometimes we just don't know, right? Like sometimes that's why something that you were saying, like our faith has to be backed up by our actions, and that's actually today's scripture was about that too. How like a faith without actions is it is dead, right? So that is something that you were doing out of the kindness of your heart. Maybe you didn't, put much mind to it as like, oh, I'm making a huge impact, but for him, it definitely was.
No, yeah, definitely. And I thought the question was towards like personal, but you know what? That is 100% correct. That was definitely something, was as we were getting to know each other, this unfortunately did happen. And, I wanted to be there for him, 100% his family. And again, it's just something, in my heart that I wanted to do. And that's the least anyone can do, and I was falling in love with him. So, of course, I had to be there for him and still will be forever. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, jumping on to the next question, how have your individual goals and ambitions changed or stayed the same ever since getting into a relationship?
One thing that we've done within our relationship, prior to being in fiance stage, we went on a date and we sat down and we made a list and we wrote down our goals that we wanted to do within 5 years and goals that we wanted to do within 10 years. and we were able to see each other's goals and see and kind of compare, like, okay, we're kind of similar. We want, this type of career. We want, I have a son as well, right? I have a child. And so I also, put those things and those goals that I have for my son. And so we were able to family plan already. I think we're really big on family planning and being able to just put it all on paper and see where you want to be in 5 to 10 years is something that helped us merge our goals and also push each other to accomplish our goals. And so it's been wonderful. I mean, there has been changes on my end, right? Because, as a future husband, I also have to make sacrifices. I have to understand her and the way she functions, and the woman's body is also very something delicate and something that a man has to understand. And so being able to understand her and her emotions and vice versa, her get to know me as a father and what my expectations are going to be as once we're together, right? Now she's going to become automatically a mother, right? Because I have my son JJ. And so it's been awesome to come together and, just kind of say, okay, we got to stop spending on this, and we have to save up here, and we have to continue to go to church, and so just kind of putting our goals and building our future, because we have plans for, besides getting married, having a home one day. And so just putting our plans together has been very special, within our stage of fiance.
Yeah, I kind of just want to say for me, right, communication. I've changed a lot. It was something that I lacked in our relationship at first when we started, not knowing how to communicate. Even my feelings, or when I didn't like something that he did, or or when we were not argue, but like there was like a problem, like I didn't know how to communicate that. And I think throughout our relationship, and then after that 6 months breakup that we had, I grew spiritually, but I also grew in the sense of like learning how to communicate and not give him the silent treatment, because I would give him the silent treatment a lot, and that's something that I was carrying on, so that was something that I was able to learn, that through prayer God can heal you, but also learning to communicate is a big factor in a relationship, and I think and then we're right now taking marriage preparational marriage classes, and like the first topic that our deacon talked about was communication, so I can say that's something I've matured, and worked on.
Definitely communication and compromise are, they're always mentioned as such an important part of any relationship. So definitely something we have to work on, as individuals, because at the end of the day, it affects our partner too, the way that we are, and something that we definitely need to ask God to help us, get through. And those, the preparation talks that you guys are having, those are also very important, because I feel, they really make you think, right? They really prepare you. And I know a lot, and I mentioned this because I know a lot of couples who wish they could skip them, but don't. You can't either way if you want to get married in the Catholic Church. But honestly, don't just jump into it without, having somebody to support and to help you guys. All right. So, what roles do communication and compromise play in your relationship? I know you guys share that's very important, but how has it affected or shifted the way that you guys go about in your relationships? Well, would you say there's also something else that you found that is important besides communication and compromise?
Right. But I actually do want to add something to the communication of how, for those who are listening, of how I started, to how it would help me, right? Was we started actually a journal, because it's very hard sometimes to communicate, and like if you don't know how to communicate with someone, journaling your thoughts really, really helps. So that helped me to, like, I guess that was like the seed that I planted, and little by little I started realizing that I was able to communicate verbally with him. So that's just like a tip I want to give out there. But I know.
Correct. I'm glad you brought that up, babe. So every day we would pass the journal back and forth, and in that way we were able to express ourselves even more on pen and paper compared to maybe not saying right away, oh, this bothers me and whatnot. And so over the pen and paper, we were able to understand each other more. And another thing that we have been doing, we would like to throw out there for any couple or future couple or anyone that's thinking of getting married, through our marriage counseling, we've been speaking with Deacon Paul, and he's been talking to us about the different love languages. And so that has helped us big time, because each and every one of us, both you, me, and everyone here has a love tank, and everyone has a certain love language. Mine's in particular, my first one is physical touch. And so we've learned, and she's learned that by giving me physical touch, it could be a hug, it could be, a kiss in the forehead, it could be, like caressing my arm, or giving me a back massage, right, babe? Those things fill my love tank. And so, and her number one is, I'm sorry, babe? Acts of service, which are, she's washing the dishes, and I say, you know what, babe, I'm gonna wash the dishes today. Let me go and help you with that. You know what, babe, let me fold the clothes. Let me help you change the baby's diaper today. And so there's acts of service that I do, and I know now that's how I can fill her love tank. And there's other love languages as well, like words of affirmation, quality time. And so we all have these certain love languages. I invite you to read the book 5 Love Languages and learn, so that you can learn how to better satisfy your partner when it comes to filling their love tank. And that's how we've been able to keep our love on fire, to be honest, because now I know exactly how I can make her day, and she knows how exactly she can make my day with a back massage, huh, babe? Yes. I'm just kidding. I give her the back.
So it takes work, right? Like whenever when you find somebody that you really, this is the right person, this is the one, you want to make that effort. Sometimes you feel like the drag, like, why do I have to do this? But like when you really want it, you will put in the work.
Today's, like you were talking about the gospel, and in the homily today, our priest, he said, you could not have love if there's no sacrifice, or if there's no sacrifice, there's no love. And that goes again, right? I may not like, to give him back massage because I'm tired, but just me doing that for him and he knowing that I'm tired, that's just a sacrifice that I'm willing to do to fill his love tank. So, so just those little things, it's what helps. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, love is sacrifice, right? And we sacrifice to love.
Great question. So before we officially dated, me and Chris, I definitely had a lot of doubts, fear in my heart to fall in love again. And I felt like in any past relationship, I would be always the one over communicating or being desperate to know what's going on, because I have a lot of anxiety. But I feel like getting to know him and going on dates with Chris before we became official took our time. He was really patient with me. I feel like my levels of communication were more at ease. I felt like I can open up more. So in moments where he would see me, be triggered by something, or just I would zone out, he would catch it and he would just ask, is everything okay? And then sometimes I would give the opportunity to let him know, what, this reminded me of this, or sometimes I fear this or this and that, and he would hear me out, and we would, communicate, and how can we resolve these, how can I make your heart at ease? I think the communication is very, very important. And, I feel like now I probably over communicate. I for any little thing, I know he observes that. But, I think it's better than where I was before in any relationship. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you said it beautifully. I mean, whenever you see your partner overstressed, just full of anxiety, just try to make sure the communication is the number one goal, because once you communicate, everything will be better. And then once you pray that your communication will become better, that's just a whole nother level of just figuring out everything and making sure everything's complete. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Just to add to what you're saying, I guess if I understood the question right, I guess in the marriage phase, you definitely have to discover, or not discover, but in your life, in your journey, you discover there's different definitions for different moralities, right? And when you get married, I feel like you're going to discover a new definition of what love is, and you gotta take it to a different level in the sense of love. What the way I understood it was like that, maybe that Disney love, right? It's the nice face love, but it's not like that. I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is selflessness. Like love truly is selflessness, and to be successful in this role with God in the center, you have to discover that, and again, you have to humble yourself, and it like a lot of people say in the church, like you want to seek sainthood, because sainthood is literally us being selflessness, and it is not an easy route. It's not an easy road, but that is the right road, is the true road. And for us both, we have discovered that we gotta hit that mark, and I'm learning that I have to embezzle myself in that type of love. It's not the love like, again, like the first stage love or even the engage, right? This new level is a level that's gonna change you as a human, a love that you never seen before, but it's a great love. And that's what God wants us to do. He wants us to reach him because he's love, right? And again, he calls us to be like him, right? So he's perfect. We can't get there because we're not gonna be a God, but it's gonna require a lot of sacrifice and selflessness, and that's how you're gonna succeed, because that's what he calls us to do.
So sacrifice, selflessness, communication, so many things that are important for a working relationship, and of course also having God at the top of that list. And I'd like to hear from, in different levels in your relationships where you guys are at, because it doesn't get easier, right? Like when you guys get married, you're jumping into a whole different, area, different struggles. Maybe it gets harder. Would you have done something differently, when you guys were dating, now that you're married?
I think it's normal, to be honest, even though I don't want to sound like it's too negative or anything like that. I think it's just like if you take out the whole relationship aspect and you're just going out there helping people, like God calls us to love one another, a lot of times we don't even do that. We don't help people. We see people in the street because what? It's hard. It's embarrassing. I don't want to touch that person. What does that mean? Like I said earlier, selflessness. A lot of us, and anybody, you don't have to be married for this, we struggle with that. And therefore God calls us to get back in that type of love. So going back to marriage, yeah, we're going to discover that I'm with her now. I can't, like I said, I can't abandon the ship. I have to love her no matter how she comes. Just like I have my defects. She has her defects. Everybody has defects. And when we get married, we're like one now, and we have to really like look at what love means and reflect and go deep with God, and we're gonna discover a great love that's gonna make us grow. Like I'm growing and I love it. Like this new love, I'm just like, wow. Just like someone told me, when you have a kid, you're gonna discover a new love. It's like a superpower. You're gonna like discover this new love that you never seen before. And it's true. Sometimes you get tired with, a kid or a baby could be tiring. You don't sleep. But when I go to work, I miss my baby. I want to go back. And what is that? That's the love that's in our heart. That's part of the DNA God's given us, because there's a love that we all seek, but that love is a sacrificial love. And so again, it's going to require us to be selfless, and it's worth it. Once you get there, it's worth it. And that has helped us grow more with God, seeing this new love that we both are learning to walk towards to, and we want to, because we both love each other.
So for all our Imago Dei family, it's worth it. That was literally what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you now, would you say that after all this time?
Yeah, even though if you're married or you're thinking about it, like anything that's good, it comes with a price. It's a challenge, but it's worth it, because everything that's right, you got to put in work, right? It's not the things that are hard in life. I mean, that are easy, that are the ones that are like the sinful, like, right? It's easy to take the wrong route. It's easy, but everything right, you have to work hard, but it's worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Thank you. Did you?
I agree with him. In the fiance stage, I have no regrets. Yes, we've had our ups and downs, and yes, so much has happened, but everything has happened for a reason, and God has a plan. And it's been quite the journey being with Daniela. It's been special, to be honest, because we've grown stronger from every single hurdle that's come our way. We've met each other serving. We have plans to have a big family one day. Yeah, and I just want to say, one of the biggest things that has maintained me and Daniela to be super strong during this stage is something that we've learned from our ministry at Sorelay. At Sorelay, they do monthly adoration, which I know before we were inviting you to the adoration this month. Man, well, we've we've not only adopted that technique of going to visit the Holy Eucharist. We now do it once a week. Her and me. It's our little date night. Monday or Tuesday we'll head over to Holy Hour at a local parish. Or if there's confession, we go confess, and it's just something we're able to do with her, me, and if JJ's available as well, we go as a family, and so that has helped us maintain strong throughout our relationship and going into the next step of marriage.
I just want to add to the question, right? If there's any regrets, and I personally would say no regrets of what we've done, how we've done things, because I think it is what had led us to where we at right now. It was all in God's plans to help us. Sometimes when we're in the storms, we question our Lord and we're like, well, why, Lord? Why are you making like this happen? And I know, as humans, we're humans and we lose that faith. We lose maybe like, ahí estamos llorando, we're crying or we're begging our Lord to make things or cut our cross. But as we look back after, we realize that the Lord's plan it's not to make us suffer, but it's to help us increase our faith, increase our spiritual level to what is to come, and like I was saying, I was a leader back then, and I wasn't thinking that he was preparing me to plan a wedding like two years after, right? And then our breakup, I didn't know. Like, I was very like, whoa, Lord, why did you make this happen? He's a good guy, I'm a good girl. Like, why are we not together? But that was helping me to be stronger into my faith, because as much as he's my Saint Joseph, there's gonna be times where I'm gonna need my own spiritual, my own, to fight those things that are to come. And I think together we will be more stronger to lead, and we both want a holy family, right? And our end goal is to get to heaven together, whether he goes first or I go first, but that's the plan, right? To help each other get there with our kids.
Amen. Holy family.
Well, I want to take a break to thank you guys for sharing so far. Well, we're not done, but for sharing so far and being so open with us, because I feel like it's spreading a lot of hope for Catholic singles, Catholic relationships out there. And it's things that we don't really hear about. Like I was mentioning earlier, I only knew of my mom and my dad as Catholic couple, married couple, but I feel like I never saw younger couples in different stages. And it's very encouraging, especially for us in these times that are, I feel like they're harder to find, but they're out there, and we just have to put God first. But now, because it's a very chilly evening, I want us to go ahead and play a little game, get you guys moving, get you guys thinking, and there will be a prize for the winning couple at the end. So, of course, this is about who knows their partner better. Yeah.
You know what? Let me.
Be careful, guys. Be careful.
A little, yeah. It's all fun and games. No need to cause any fights. Everything will be good. But for this first half, I'm going to ask the gentlemen to please go ahead and head out to the room, and the ladies will stay here with me.
Okay.
We'll call you guys over, and go ahead and say your prayers over there. All right, so this game of how well do you know your partner, we're going to ask you guys 4 questions. So if you can number your board 1 through 4. So obviously these questions are about them, and then you're going to write down your answer. Then we're going to call them back out and see how well you know your partner. Are you guys ready? Yeah. Are you nervous?
Yes.
All right. So first question is, what is his favorite food? I'm trying to be quiet so that the gentlemen don't hear us.
Does it have to be specific, or can it just be broad? Like a style or...
Whatever you think he would answer.
I know. You better say this.
I know.
All right, the second question. What is a bad habit that he knows annoys you?
Oh my gosh.
Just one. If there's nothing, you can also say nothing. You can write down, he's perfect. All right, third question is, does your partner, prefer the rosary or adoration together? And last but not least, what is their favorite sport and team? All right, we have brought back our gentleman here waiting for the answers of how well your partner knows you. How well do you guys think your partner knows you?
80%.
50-50.
60%.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Confidence.
Confidence.
All right, so just don't overthink it, whatever, comes to your mind first. And then I will ask 4 different questions. You'll answer one at a time, okay? So let's go ahead and start with the first one. What is your favorite food?
Huevos a la mexicana.
Okay.
Wings.
All right.
Pizza.
All right. Ladies, check or X? Okay. All right. All right. Next question is, what is a bad habit that you think your partner wishes you changed? Or something that she doesn't like about you or complains about?
I'm going to be honest. Brushing my teeth.
All right.
What the heck? That was too honest.
Thank you for your honesty.
Not wanting a house dog that it sheds.
All right. Ladies, don't give it away, ladies. Poker face, poker face.
I guess maybe my confidence.
All right. These are some deep answers. All right.
Remember, not give answers.
All right. Next question, poker face ladies. What do you prefer to do together? Pray the rosary or adoration?
Pray the rosary.
Adoration.
Adoration.
Okay. All right. And last question. What is your favorite sport and team? Or sport or team?
Soccer, LA Galaxy.
Soccer, LAFC.
Oh, rivals.
Football, Barcelona.
All right. Are we ready? How well do you guys think, now that you've heard the questions, what do you guys think they're going to get out of 4?
I said the truth, but I know she's scared to be truthful, so she probably knows the answers were right, and she'd probably be like, dang, I should have been more truthful.
So out of the 4, how many think
I
she's
think
going
she
to get
got
right?
3 out of the 4.
I think she got 2.
I think she got 1.
Hey, look, there's that confidence that he's working on.
Can you just tell them your favorite football and basketball? Because that's the focus.
You gotta
of
have
it,
the answers.
but- Oh,
Can I
sorry.
do that?
No, he did. He
Yeah,
answered.
like he said soccer because they were all talking about
yeah,
soccer.
She said Barcelona.
What is his favorite?
Barcelona.
Oh, it's because he likes football and baseball.
No, but she says,
basketball.
but you just said
Basketball?
one team. She said one team though.
Yeah.
No, but did you want us
Yeah,
to
that's
answer
fine.
many teams? Because you said one team.
I was
like,
focusing on football. And
As long as,
basketball.
ladies, as long as you get one of the 2 right,
Can you name
you
your
get the
we
point.
could name our favorite sports like of every
Yeah, can you name
team.
your other favorite sports?
Baseball is Angels and basketball Clippers.
All right.
Oh, jeez, thank you.
All right. All right, we ready to show our answers? Ladies, reveal your answers in 3, 2, 1.
Two out of 2? I got it right, 50-50.
2 out of 2.
All right. Who's keeping score? We have 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4.
Tell
And
you
then
80%.
2 out of 2.
2. All right. Not too bad. 3, 2, and 2. All right. Well, gentlemen, okay, but now let's see how well you know your partners. This is where,
All right.
it gets
do it.
real.
I'm gonna sleep in the
All
couch.
right, so let's go. Let's go ahead and pass our boards to your partners, please. All right, so now switching it up for the gentleman here, we're going to ask one question at a time, to make it more interesting. Let's see who's sleeping on the couch, the married couple here, or, who's not talking for a while. We'll see. I don't know. No, it's all fun and games. All right, so first question, gentlemen, go ahead and write your answer. What is her favorite color? Oh, no. Please zoom in on their faces.
Can I borrow your pillow?
Let's go ahead to our married couple. What is your favorite color? Pink.
Pink.
Hey! All right.
Well, I always tell Jesse or people that ask me, I don't have a favorite color, but if I had to choose, I would choose blue.
Can you reveal your answer? Dark teal. That was very
That was
specific.
close,
It was
yeah.
wrong.
It's
but
wrong.
But it's specific. I like that.
It is a wedding color, but
And wait. Oh.
It's funny. I was gonna say I
Did
can't
you actually?
choose, but it's okay.
All right, that's fine. We'll give you guys that point. Everybody gets that point for that one. So she'll answer first, and then you'll reveal it. Okay?
Just put all of them, which is. I was gonna say I can't really choose.
it kind of goes.
Sorry, no, I'm just kidding. Everybody gets this point. This was like a trial run. That's okay. So what is your favorite color?
If I had to choose, it would be like brown, different browns. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that was a trial run. Let's go to the next question. Gentlemen, are you ready? What is your partner's ideal date? Yeah, we'll switch. Do you have one? All right, y'all ready?
Yes.
Okay, remember, don't show it till after the ladies reveal the answer. Go ahead.
I would say the movies.
The
Movies
movies.
would be my most ideal date.
And your boyfriend has. Yes. Beach date at the movies, or I'm just kidding. All right. Are you guys keeping tally back there? All right, cool. All right, and what is your favorite?
For me, would be the beach, or going to the Blessed Sacrament. Yes.
The beach. You got a point? And then, what is your ideal date?
I'm simple. I say a nice restaurant, a rooftop restaurant. No, a rooftop.
A restaurant, a dinner at a nice restaurant. Walk the dog.
That is very simple.
Not a date.
You're not walking the dog.
That doesn't count as a date.
It's not a date.
She's wearing heels on this date. That's why she's walking the dogs. I'm just kidding. Anyway. Now we know who's sleeping on the couch. Next question. Does your partner have a name for your future children? Now, I know our married couple has a beautiful daughter, but I'm sure they're open to more kids. What would be the next name for you guys?
Wait, boy or girl?
Either.
Boy or girl.
You guys can put one for boy, one for girl. That's okay.
I'm gonna just put both boys because
Because we ain't having
I'm
girls.
gonna be specific because we have another boy. I'm gonna be because when we wanted a boy, there was a name she wanted, so I'm gonna put that. You can't say that, bro. I know. No, you know what I'm saying.
See, the ladies had no trouble playing this game, okay?
You just gave
All right, I'll switch.
I'm saying the same question.
I'll switch the question if that's okay with production. Production, are you okay?
Yes,
All right.
but I was
So,
curious to know.
no communicating with.
Can we see what they would choose?
She has to have the answer.
Junior, you just stated what it was.
I didn't see the answer. I just said
You gave her a
just shows
hint
the
as
answer.
to
Yes.
Alright, so what was yours? What was your answer?
these gentlemen. Okay, I'll explain
What
the
was
rules
your
for the third
answer?
time. Don't worry.
He said Matthew.
Wait, Jesse?
No, Junior.
Well, out of curiosity,
Jay, what did
I
you
was
put?
curious.
out of curiosity,
to
what?
know.
I told you 20 times. Junior.
Okay, you guys make
Okay.
something.
Don't say anything. Just stay quiet, right? And stay quiet.
Don't flip your boards. Just
Okay.
stay quiet.
All right. So I'm just going to make this question up because what is a pet that your partner would like to have together? A pet. What kind of?
Like a
pet kind of- name?
Because
What do we already have? We already have a pet.
we're dog owners.
We're all dog owners.
Potential name of pet.
Okay, there you go. Potential name of a pet.
I don't even have an answer.
I don't have an answer yet.
It's is there another question?
Oh my god.
Let's see what another question can it be.
Okay, never mind. I have one. I have one.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Making me change 3 questions. These gentlemen. Patience, Lord, patience. Just kidding.
No communication,
right.
actually.
Coffee, tea, or water? I'm scared. I'm scared. All right. Just repeating it for a 3rd time. Gentlemen, don't say anything until after the ladies answer. All right. All right. Do you guys have your answers, ladies?
Yes.
All right. Yes, go ahead.
Water.
Hey, redemption. Go ahead.
Coffee.
Oh my god. You had me worried there for a sec. And last but not least.
I would say coffee.
Hey!
Woo, proud of you guys.
I had to give him an easy one.
No.
Definitely not. Okay. All right. Next question. Is she a morning or a night person? They wrote quite quickly, so
I know.
they know.
Easy questions. You gave him.
Yeah.
You gave them easy questions.
I mean, I had to explain the rules 3 times. Hey. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Night person.
Nice.
I would
Go
say a night person.
Hey.
Yay.
Morning person.
Hey.
Oh, they're so simple. They get it.
Give them a hard one. Like
Favorite food.
yeah, what's their favorite food or something like that?
This is actually bonus question. This one is worth 2 points. I just made that rule up, but it is worth 2 points. All right, you guys ready? It's actually that. What is your partner's favorite meal?
I'm sorry, man.
Y'all can copy each other. It's not that type of test.
You gave him a hard question.
I had to.
For me too. I'm thinking about it. It's like
They look too confident. I had to, throw a curveball. They like everything. Yes, we do.
like meal or like dessert or
No.
like a meal.
Meal.
Appetizer or
Like on a date night, what is she going to request?
That's more complicated.
Oh, I mean, what would you, open-ended menu? What would you pick out a menu from a menu? Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna go.
I don't think you're gonna get it right.
All right. Hernan, let me know when you're ready,
You gotta take her out on more dates, bro.
and we'll wait for the airplane to pass. All right.
Okay.
Maria, would you like to start?
Yes. So, my favorite food is Korean. So I would go with tofu soup.
Hey, tortas are good.
Tortas y milanesas are another good. Dang. I always call you, hey, I'm ordering tofu soup on DoorDash. It's okay. Maybe.
That's all right. Maybe she likes both. All right, go ahead.
I think this is even hard for me because every time he asks me like, "Hey, what do you want to eat?" I would say, "I don't know, but I love chicken, so I think I would choose anything with chicken, like wings."
Can we zoom in on his face, please?
I don't know, anything with chicken.
When we go on date nights, what do you order, babe?
Chicken pasta. That counts.
Anything with chicken.
Yeah, chicken.
Anything with chicken.
So I did.
Had you just put pasta, you would have lost. But you put chicken pasta. I know.
When I take her to a night restaurant, she gets
All right,
knows
and
me.
then our last answer.
Mine is mole. Come on, baby.
Come on, her mom makes it.
What? I don't like burritos.
Jesse got the points.
But I like mole. That's my
Gentlemen,
favorite
you need to
dish.
understand. Sometimes, we sacrifice and we say something else is our favorite because you guys like it. So, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see how our points are doing. Do we have a winner? All right, our winner, our second couple. You guys, yeah, you guys can high five.
Love you guys.
All right, and their price is. Okay, we'll give them after the show. Congratulations again to our winning couple, Jesse and Daniela. There was a fight here earlier. Wish you had seen that. No, I'm just kidding. Everything as well. As we approach the last question, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time, for sharing your experiences. This is very helpful to everyone who is, in the path of dating or discerning. And with that, I would like for you guys to share, and open-ended, or if everybody would like to share, that's fine. What is an advice that you would give those couples who are already in a relationship or looking for somebody, or somebody who's even married already? What is something that you think would strengthen their relationship?
I'll say like always have God at the center of your relationship, and always pray the rosary together, go to adorations, and read the Bible.
Thank you.
You want to go ahead, babe? From our experience, we would definitely recommend buying the book 5 Love Languages and figuring out what your partner's love language is, so you can grow into deeper love with them. And of course, one thing that we do on a weekly basis is going to the Santissimo, the Blessed Sacrament. Just you and your partner go have some personal time with God. Right there, when you're in front of the Holy Eucharist, go ahead and pray the Rosary, go to confession, and together you guys will continue to form that sacred family you guys want to form. And of course, you're going to put God first above all things.
I do just want to add, I think it's very important that if you're seeking a relationship, I think it's important to heal first, even if you either been single for a long time or you just ended a relationship. I think it's important to heal your past traumas, like I said, right? Because we carry them on with our relationship. We carry those baggage, and then that's what when it comes to carrying it on with our partner. So if you find someone who also has those traumas or those past experiences with it, and then you're carrying it the same thing, then you're not going to be able to plant something healthy. You're going to be planting the same seeds over and over. So I think that would be one of my recommendations, besides seeking God and putting God first. Ask God to help you heal those wounds and to remind you of what I said that you need healing from. I think that's very, very important.
Thank you, guys.
I would say to not give up on love, to know that, God has a plan and you may not know, but just don't give up. There's someone for you, or if you're meant for religious life, and just to give love another chance is what I would say. Yeah.
I guess my advice would be, for my case, if someone's not the same, if someone has God in their life, but they seem lost or don't know really where to go, and you're someone that's just, I want to find someone who has the same faith as me, but they're not Catholic, or they're not the same, I would say, denomination. I would say if you have a crush on someone, like, give that person a chance to learn about your faith. Let them introduce them to the Catholic faith. Help them understand how it's beautiful, what the purpose of it is, and see where it can go. Just never give up, because you never know. Because, like, for us, like I said, I grew up non-denominational. She grew up Catholic, and dating. We were talking about what's our standard, and how are we trying to get closer to God. So, for me, I felt like I wasn't going to church as much, but I always wanted to be closer to God. So when she introduced that to me, it opened up my eyes to how beautiful the faith can be. So I say never give up. Yeah.
Thank you. And Hernan?
To add to, involve yourself in a Christian community, a Catholic community, where when you have challenges or you want to grow, they'll have your back. And it's beautiful to, involve yourself in church, in a ministry. I'd advise anybody that is thinking about it to go ahead and do it. That's how I believe a lot of us kind of met in that realm. And at the end, whenever you have problems or struggle, always find God. With Him, everything is possible. He's your source to solve everything. So, again, God always in everything, and it's gonna be all right.
Thank you guys so much for sharing. I do want to end with a beautiful prayer for couples. So if you guys can help me out, let's close our eyes, bow our heads. And this is for everyone else who is watching or listening to join us as well. Lord Jesus, grant that I and my spouse may have a true understanding and love for each other. Grant that we may both be filled with faith and trust. Give us the grace to live with each other in peace and harmony. May we always bear with one another's weaknesses and grow from each other's strengths. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, well, thank you so much, you guys. I think we had a lot of fun, and we could definitely make a part 2 of this video. Hopefully, production, are you here? Are you listening? So thank you, couples. Thank you, production, and everyone that helped make this episode possible. It's been such a beautiful experience and very, very needed for everyone who is in different stages of their relationship or discernment. I hope that all of you who are able to share this video with somebody, maybe be brave and send it to somebody who you're crushing on, and maybe they'll get inspired. You never know. But do spread the word, spread these experiences, because we need to know that there are other Catholic couples out there, that we're not alone, that we shouldn't feel like a fish out of water when we're doing one way and the world is going a different way. So let's go ahead and share, give this video a like, share it with your family, with friends, a possible boyfriend, girlfriend, your husband, and also follow Imago Dei on social media, on Instagram, Imago Dei Digital Min, and the website also, www.imagodeidigitalministry.com. And for me, it has been such a great pleasure being with you guys in this episode, and I hope to see you guys all soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.